Hello, my name is Dylan, but you can call me Buttercup. If you are seeing this video, it means I have defeated the curse upon this topic that seems to have prevented me from actually getting anything posted. The first video I tried to make, I wound up hating the audio and did not post. That was a few weeks ago. And then today, this is my second time trying to record this video because my camera battery ran out in the middle of the first take. So, if you are seeing this, I have defeated the curse. I hope you're seeing this. Before I get into what I want to talk about today, I have a little bit of housekeeping that I'd like to get out of the way. You may have noticed it's been a while since you heard my voice in a video. That is because I refuse to put up a video with speaking that does not have captions. And if I am really busy or really tired, I wind up not having time to do the captions for the video. So I choose to do videos without speaking for that reason. And I don't want to keep just doing no talking videos. I have things that I want to say. So I want to try to commit to the first week of every month posting a video with speaking. Either talking about my yarn and what I'm doing with that or something else. Also, I can now do ear to ear, which is really exciting. And I want to be able to play with that. And if I never speak, I can't really do ear to ear whispering, can I? I don't think I'm going to do very much of that in this video, but I can do it, and I want to do it, and I can't really do ear-to-ear or talking or whispering if I don't talk. So, first week of every month, I want to try to do a video with talking. And of course, the first month that this will be active for, I'll be really, really busy the first weekend of the month. But I have a long weekend for Memorial Day, so hopefully I can take care of that in advance and maybe get into the good habit of recording my videos ahead of time. So, let me actually get into what I wanted to talk about today, which is an attempt to bore you to sleep by getting really granular about loops. So, I discovered a few months ago that I have been crocheting wrong the entire time I've been crocheting. I've been wrapping the yarn around the hook in the wrong direction. So I made up this little swatch here of correctly done crochet. And I'm going to show you how that works. So to crochet correctly, you wrap the yarn clockwise around the hook. I am not very good at this yet, as you can see, because I haven't been doing it this way the entire time. So the correct way to wrap the yarn around the hook is over the top, around the front, under the bottom. That's the yarn over in crochet. Knitting, the yarn goes around in the opposite direction and I will show you that in a bit. That's why this is here. But for now, I'm showing you crochet. So this is the correct direction. Excuse me, to be wrapping the yarn. Okay. Speaking of which, I never got when people said like, oh my gosh, like crochet always splits the yarn, is that the other thing? That never happened to me because I was wrapping the yarn in the wrong direction. I get it now. So you can see head on, the yarn is going clockwise around the hook and pull through. This makes what's called a V single crochet, which is the standard single crochet, or it's supposed to be, and it creates a nice loose V on the bottom of the stitch there. Might be easier to see a couple rows down. Nice, loose, even V. Now, I'm going to show you the correct X single crochet on this row, which is different from how I do it. So for the correct X single crochet on this loop, when your yarn is in this, when your hook is in the stitch, you wrap under, you wrap counterclockwise. So if my camera will focus. Take the yarn. I'm not waiting for the focus anymore. Take the yarn under and around counterclockwise. Pull it through and then over to finish out the stitch. So again, do the whole row, under to pull through the stitch below, over to finish the stitch. And this is what a lot of amigurumi makers will use, because this creates a denser, tighter fabric with smaller holes between the stitches, which is better for keeping in stuffing. Whereas normal standard V single crochets are better for things like shirts or blankets, and less so for keeping stuffing in a stuffed animal. So there's the end of that row with the standard X single crochet, and now I just wrapped that one under, and you're going to see why. So now I'm going to show you how I've always done it. So remember, standard is over, standard V is over, the X single crochet, that V of the stitch is more of an X. It's tighter. I don't know how well you can see that. My choice of yarn may not have been the best, but it's tighter and closer together, looks more like an X. What I do, what I've always done, is under. So into the stitch, under, wrap it under, and finish off the stitch. And I am in the middle of a queen size blanket where I've been wrapping every stitch under. Half double crochet, double crochet, extended double crochet because I found triple crochet to be difficult to work. I've been wrapping everything under. Every loop I make has been under, and that affects the gauge of the fabric, so how many stitches and rows per inch. That affects the drape of the fabric, so if I want to get like a really drapey fabric, I have to use a much bigger hook than I normally would, so you can kind of see even just 2 rows of X single crochets and the fabric is already starting to narrow a bit. So if I wanted to start doing my stitches correctly on the blanket, I would have to change what hook I've been using because the gauge would change. It would also change how the stitch texture looks and all of that, and I don't want to do that, so I'm going to finish this blanket knowing that I'm doing everything wrong. And it really bothers me knowing that I've been doing it wrong this whole time and that I'm going to continue to do it wrong just to keep the texture and gauge the same. That kind of kills me. But here, let me do another row of how I normally do crochet, get a bit of that narrowing even more obvious, and then I'll show you knit stitches, which are the standard way to do them is wrapping them counterclockwise, like with the X single crochet. And there are styles that wrap them clockwise, but they also work every stitch into the back of the stitch. And that way the stitches don't come out twisted for every stitch. But I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. So that's the crochet. I'm going to put that to the side. Now, knitting. And I probably should have made up a swatch on bigger needles and with thicker yarn, but I couldn't really be bothered. So, with knitting, whether the stitch is a knit or a purl, the yarn is wrapped in the same direction every time. So, if I'm knitting it, I'm wrapping it counterclockwise. I'm not going to finish this stitch, but even if I'm purling it, counterclockwise. So, into the stitch, purl, goes counterclockwise. Now, there are styles where you wrap them clockwise, but that mounts the stitch twisted, so you would do it through the back loop rather than the front loop to get the stitch to come out untwisted. I used to always twist my purls back when I picked knitting back up, and they were always really tight to work through, and I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. Well, what I was doing was wrapping the yarn clockwise because it's a little bit easier to grab. So put the yarn through the stitch. It's easier to grab if I mount it, if I wrap it clockwise, but it comes out twisted that way. And I had to teach myself to purl and wrap it counterclockwise. And like my instinct is whatever way it's easier to grab the loop with the hook or the needle and pull it through the other loop. That's the instinct that I have. That's why, you know, my crochet, I've been wrapping everything in the wrong direction, because to me it's more natural to wrap the yarn this way to pull it rather than to wrap the yarn this way to pull it. It makes more sense in my hands and in my muscle memory to wrap everything this way. But I'm gonna have to teach myself how to crochet wrapping the yarn the other way, because now that I know that that's not how you're supposed to do it, I refuse to continue to do it that way any longer than I have to. And I really, really wish I had figured that out sooner, but I figured it out now. I know it now. And I'm gonna do it better, do it correctly going forward. My fabric that I crochet is gonna be so much better. My work is gonna improve as a result of learning to do it the correct way and getting that natural, getting that into my muscle memory. My crochet will improve dramatically, just like my knitting improved when I figured out how I was messing up my purl stitches. So thank you very much for listening to this too granular rant about loops. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.